The Department of the Interior being told to fess up. Republicans calling on the department to provide communications on energy loans to see if special treatment was given to certain companies like Solyndra. With more on this, Republican Congressman Darrell Issa of California joins me now. Congressman, great to see you again. You and Senator Sessions are asking for this information. What do you hope to get?
Well, Jerry, I think the important thing is that Senator Sessions, being in the minority over in the Senate, just like Senator Grassley a year ago, asked legitimate questions and got stonewalled. So we've joined the fight because we do have subpoena power, because we do have the ability to call hearings to get those answers, because it certainly looks like the Department of Interior, again, participated in preferential treatment for the president's all of the above and none of the below strategy of energy.
Have you gotten any response to your letter?
No, we haven't yet, but the fact is that we're having hearings tomorrow in which we're going to be dealing with the president's failed energy policies, and we're going to continue to ask those questions and bring people before the American people so that they can see that, in fact, there are a lot of unanswered questions, but the ones that have been answered don't look very good for America getting abundant energy so we can have jobs in America, something we sorely need.
Now, my understanding is that you think some of these loans were fast-tracked for some company. What companies are you particularly interested in?
Well, we certainly have our favorites. You know, for better or worse, there seems to be a package of people who are bundled for the president with contributions in some cases, but certainly those who get loans. In other words, the American people who are already investors seem to get those phone calls that fast-track. And I think that's where Senator Sessions is particularly interested, that it looks like if you're on the right side with the president, everything falls together for you. The loans, the fast-tracking, the ability to get BLM land and so on made available. And we have a lot of questions. We hope to get answers. If we don't get them through our letters, we will bring people before Congress.
Well, you know, it's interesting. The First Solar chairman became the Commerce Secretary. Does this tie into your investigation as well?
Well, as you know, First Solar is a company that has an interesting history of cashing out and in fact, laying off. And it does fit into an ongoing saga as the election approaches, and these investments, if you want to call them that, these loans and grants, are starting to show just how foolish they were in many cases. And of course, we do have the political right to the top calls to President Obama that took place in relationship to that company.
Well, you know, it's certainly an interesting situation, but let me tell you, the thing that I'm really worried about is that the American taxpayer is going to be on the hook for more of these companies failing. Do you see that coming down the line?
Oh, there's no question that as the weeks and months go on, you're going to see additional failures because many of these plans were unsupportable, but they were big gambles. You know, Secretary Chu, Stephen Chu, came before a committee, gave himself an A+, even as Solyndra was in liquidation, even as it was very clear that these organizations with government grants, fast-tracking of permits, subsidies, and on top of that mandates, were still finding it themselves unable to deliver this fuel at an affordable price. Well, at the same time, this administration is 37% down in granting oil and natural gas rights on federal lands. That's costing us revenue to the federal treasury, and of course, it's jacking up the price of energy here at home.
Well, you know, we keep looking at all these stories, watching and waiting. Are you getting the information you want from the White House and the administration, or do you still feel like you're being stonewalled?
Well, this is not an administration that is ever going to catch up on and be able to claim that it was open and transparent. Very clearly, they send us these letters that say we have a long-standing policy, and then they tell you why they're not cooperating. But the American people are seeing it, and particularly when they're seeing that the price at the pump is up. Well, in fact, there's over 72 million barrels of oil stranded in Oklahoma because a pipeline isn't there, and countless hundreds of millions of barrels in North Dakota that are being trucked down at a great expense when they could be coming through the Keystone pipeline in just a year or two if the president would get out of the way and let that efficient delivery system provide American fuel to Americans.
Well, we've got a long way to go. Congressman Issa, thanks for coming on tonight. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jerry.